Alrighty, well, here we go. Game number 5. There is a lot of teams in the area. This is also a Firefly hotspot, but there is a lot of teams in the area. This could get really messy really quickly. Oh, we're not where we thought we are.
No, there is Fireflies here.
There's still Fireflies here, yeah.
Yes.
So I thought we were north of Celestia for some reason. I think it's the bamboo. Wait, we are north of Celestia. I'm an idiot. Where the hell are we?
Well, there's your answer to who got Fireflies. Tumult Ultimate immediately comes on down. And that is going to be making it a lot harder for all of these other teams in the area to maneuver.
Yeah, that's a real shutdown, especially on the in the kind of maze-like labyrinth this place can be. Very hard to escape out of it. As Rishishi finds himself in a fight here versus Yu and with Fat Milk actually as a backup. Yu getting a lot of HP. They do get a lovely little parry out here. Ruihi doing so much work to the member of Yu. Yu goes over the shoulder, tries to follow up. The king goes down. OUG slaughtered at the start of this game. DRG trying to come in for that third party, not really giving able to make much of a connection. As BBE just keeping the pressure up onto Wujin 98. Scale rushing up to put some distance away, but they find themselves caught in the sky. Wujin 98 still holding fast for the moment. Do have that ultimate available to them so they can blink out if they need to, and it's going to have to come down soon. They get a little bit of damage off there with the katana onto Rishishi just to force them away. Rishishi now cutting over to them, comes in with their ultimate, just trying to land some damage, but out jump DRG. And BB going to be happy with this. Good start, get himself 3 kills
DRG rubber band back in. WFC still has Takeda ultimate, so he immediately just collapses back onto BBE, who thought that they were out of the woods and started actually going for reset opportunities. And as a result, WFC just comes in with the Takeda. The Fear and Shove catches all of the players who were stuck in heal animation, and there's nothing they can do. What a bait and switch coming on out from DRG. This is a team, they always have fun mind game strategies. They're always an absolute joy to watch, either in solos with Feng or their trios team.
Yeah, they are really, really good for that, actually. DRG, I believe they were the ones at one point running the back when Justina wasn't left, like a Justina comp. It was super fun to watch, but very, very smart team. But unfortunately, sometimes the points don't quite translate until recently. This season has actually, well, this week has been really good for them. Currently in 2nd place, so it's nice to see that the team that for a while I think used to be punished for their big brain plays. They finally started burning when they were cooking, and they're actually making some pretty good dishes because they are cooking up a storm. Most people are used to the Wushen port actually being a defensive tool, not one just for a quick like bait and switch. Really, really smart use of it. As JL putting some kills on the board for themselves here, trying to see if they can get one. Bo getting a lot of damage. Down goes VVV. Unfortunately for them, not going to be enough. Alliance able to secure themselves the kill.
Yeah, Alliance using that Yodo F1. I don't know if Brandor is in chat, but if he is, I know he'll be happy. He's one of our European pros who is a strong believer in the Yoto F1. He's always very happy when he sees that one get to come on through. It's a very good tool as well to be able to just isolate a lot of targets. Unfortunately, a little bit harder to be able to make work in a already begun fight. Right, like if halfway through it comes back onto cooldown, it's a little bit harder to throw out, given that you can't use it while under attack. So you do have to be pretty careful about how you throw it in, as OUG's you. Because Ariel once again operates into that F. As a result, BBE's Ivan just has to just keep charging the RMB, cannot turn it into that Takeda. Now utilizes that Justina ultimate, will get one dash, doesn't find a freeze, but is just trying to create distance, will be able to turn and find the freeze there. This is one of the weapon identities that has started to develop with the Justina, the pulse sword, being utilized to instantly be able to find that burst of damage onto the player frozen in as succinct a fashion as possible before you just try to reposition. And as a result, OUG don't actually manage to keep tracking the Justina. In fact, I think they see another team coming and decide to back on off.
I think you with the grey armor, they got great weapons, but like they are so squishy still, and I think they need to be very hesitant and very aware of that. Just having a look, by the way, JL have used their revives up and they're down a player already, so they are off to a bad start in this game. And OUG, unable to actually connect any of these kills so far. It's been so rough, but lovely moves coming out from 9 here, avoiding away from that Yoto ultimate. Looking to break away. Is actually in comes WBG. Sleepwalker with the freeze, trying to just connect the damage onto 2-Tick. 2-Tick goes down. Lovely little pick there by WBG. They are now chasing onto Keck. Can they actually find the opening? They got one last charge as they do see them in their line of sight. May not even need to use the freeze. Holding fast for just a second longer. They've got another dash. Are they going to use it? There it's going to be. Ket goes down. WBG able to secure themselves their 5th kill of this game. Having a really, really solid start already.
They're leaving the bloom as well. WBG, when they ran the Justina variant of Cannonball before, they took every single run with Yang that they could. With mixed results. In fact, they would go against one team, find a win, and then second time around, they would go against the same team, wouldn't find the win. Like, it is very much all on the Justina to be able to set up those freezes and find those carry opportunities. As unfortunately for Lane, he's going to be denied any opportunity for that one at the moment, as the North Zone is in play. Revenge coming on in with the Shaolin Art Soldier for dual halberds. Absolutely stomping through VVV. It's such an oppressive soldier. It's very, very similar in terms of oppression to levels of Dreadful Whale once it hits that golden focus state. As Alliance now try and figure out where exactly the last player from JL decided to run off to.
They've only just picked up one of their players, so they do not have the money to go for any revives even now at this point for JL. That is very rough for them. It's just going to be their Tessa left. Oh no, sorry, I said Kurumi. I'm an idiot.
It's the foxtail. 100%.
It's the foxtail baiting me, bro.
Like,
the foxtail baited me, and then I saw the abilities and I went, that's not Tessa.
Oh, Alliance know it's a Kurumi too, so they're just going to be sticking around the area to see whether or not the Kurumi tried to get the revive. Because Kurumi can actually tether onto a body and get a revive like timer going yourself, so you actually get double the res timer.
Yes.
Or rather half the res timer necessary for Kurumi to be able to successfully get a player up. So Alliance
double the speed, half the timer.
Yeah, that's the one. Alliance will be able to just eat a little bit of that corruption tick damage. It's still early game, so it's not going to be doing too much to their health bar. And just make sure that, unfortunately, JL are not able to turn that one around as we have a look.
Going down? They're not leaving the zone.
He's still moving. He is still moving, but he might just go out to corruption tick damage, or he's just very slowly making his way. Unfortunately for him, the Veins Breath is directly in the path that he needs to go through to avoid the corruption tick damage killing him. As Alliance are going to get hit by the Viper V3, Lane as a result only now able to come in with that V1, finds a huge freeze onto 2 players. The follow-up with Revenge on that Yoda ultimate doing so much damage. Immediately the Witch and TP is forced. Lane does still have 3 of those dashes. He's going to go aerial to try and see where that Wu Chen teleported to. And then cancels the Justina ultimate early to be able to retain 30% of the rage charge in case they get rubber banded back on, since the Witch and TP means that you save some of your ultimates and can come back in for seconds once the other team has burned through all of theirs.
Yeah, it looks like for now, though, I'm going to be calling that one. J-Team moving into the zone. Just to a little bit of gatekeeping. DRG inside the realm of Yang. Who is going to join them? Is anybody going to join them is the question. I assume so. Wolves are in the area. Maybe not particularly set up. They found FX. FX stayed in the zone for so long. I don't think a Kurumi has a miracle in them. I say that. They find a parry. They almost get a kill. Not going to be enough. Are they going to be able to kill up in time? No, they go down. JLFX. Their dying breath is taking out them. I think that's worth. It's an extra point. And JL, goddamn, they need every point they can get today. It's been a bad day for them.
Okay, Wolves get their realm of Yang for free. They went into the 3rd realm. Everyone else does have to fight for control of theirs. WBG also went into one, but the one that we're going to be following is DRG's currently going up against BBE. WFC coming in with that Takeda ultimate, immediately going to pop it. So we're going to see the Yota dropping the F2. WFC incredibly low, trying to just find an opportunity. The Witch and TP now comes on out as he tries to avoid the Yoto ultimate follow-up. Damage gets hit into by the Justina freeze, unfortunately for him, and goes so incredibly low. They're hounding down this Takeda. The Zip is going to try and keep him healed up, but he's even lower. He gets the F, I do believe, to keep the health bar going a little bit longer, but that's all she wrote, as BBE will be able to dispatch the strange new iteration of Sand Siphon, which doesn't really work inside Realm of Yang for all of the reasons we've already talked about, which I'm struggling into. As outside of Realm of Yang, TE and EWG are going to go head-to-head. LYD with that staff throws out the Tessa V1, catches onto the players of EWG. Going to go into the wind wall to be able to try and just make sure that he flashes the jump parry in case a focus attack comes on through from XG to try and lock Leo down. This is what we talked about inside the 1v2. One player will flash parry, one player will look for the immediate hit. So if they try and clank the focus attack, they get parried and need all of that damage as a result.
Well, now BBE find themselves here in a fight versus Wolves. Them on the run. Those Yoto connections were beautiful. Able to land that cannon shot as well. Roshishi able to secure the kill. Now, going to see ZK finishing up a kill onto Roshishi, taking them down. Still not got one last charge on the freeze. Are they going to use it? There it is. Comes in. Ibin gets all of the damage laid onto them, and they should be going down. There it is. Lovely little pickup for Wolves. They take that fight nice and easy.
Yeah, Justina Freeze straight into RMB of those Hangsword. There's so much damage, comes out so quickly, and has such a huge hitbox, both on top of the floor and also above it. As DRG, having lost that Realm of Yang, spawn on up in Celestia. There are spirits around. They're just scouting to see whether or not this is a good opportunity to try and use the Soul Altar in front of them. It is actually FPX. Who are, wait, FPX with the Viper variety went inside a Realm of Yang. Now that is very interesting. I wonder if we'll get to see the replay of how that fight went down. As we have talked about, the Viper variety like team with the Wu Chen struggles into Realm of Yang for all of the reasons that DRG had problems. As DRG, I think they know that there is a team in the area. They're waiting to see whether or not they take the Soul Altar, as both teams are hit with Yang depletion. Zem unfortunately going to be hit by a parry, gets immediately eviscerated by the players of WBG inside the zone, who are hunting out to see if there were any stragglers. FPX now deciding to take that Soul Altar, and unfortunately for TRG, Jake, this is so ironic. For anyone who plays like an MMO, you'll know this. The moment you take your attention off of the space is when the rare spawns up, and that's exactly what's happened.
Yeah.
FPX, the moment DRG reposition, that's when they go for the Soul Altar.
I once lost the Time of Spirit, Jake, to that. That's a WoW reference for people. Yeah, ouch. Looking lovely, though, coming in, seeing if they can get some damage off on to the remainders of these members. It's in the corruption actually taking out WBG in the distance. They are just going to go for a rebirth, though, so they should be sitting okay. But right now, a lot of players have actually been knocked out of this game. It has been a very, very bloodthirsty, very, very fast-paced game so far. As DRG continuing to keep the pressure up. FBX do come in for a bit of damage on to FXZ. He's going to land himself a grapple on to Water. Trying to land some damage off. They've got the Viper stun coming in as well. FSZ just trying to get behind the tree. Wasn't able to angle it quite right. In comes Moonlight. DRG putting the pressure up onto Xiaohu, getting so much damage off. Instantly popped out, but they tracked exactly where they were. They saw the pop in the distance and keeping the pressure up. They've still got plenty of charges left on this Takeda ultimate as Xiaohu. Now they're just keeping the pressure up. He can't even get an opportunity to heal off this. That TP did nothing for him. As down goes one, down goes the next. FPX losing 2 players very quickly there to DRG. Water, the last player standing. And it looks like this is going to be WFXZ, whatever his name is, able to take down Water and finishing up the remainders of FPX.
Yeah, I feel you. Players with 3 letters in their name, hardest to pronounce in quick fashion in a sentence.
Use normal names! I've had this rant recently.
One of the easier names to be able to pronounce.
Use fine.
Unfortunately, not going to be able to find an easy kill. They have been able to chase TE away, so they will be able to get the revive potentially onto SS. Unfortunately for them, TE double back in and literally just peppered the ranged in to stagger OUG from being able to spot the resurrection. And as a result, they lose another player, and U gets hit by the Tesla V1 and will go down. TE playing that absolutely perfectly, not taking full advantage of the range of distance that a Wuchen teleport can take you, but understanding that OUG would prioritize getting their player back up. And just as we saw from DRG earlier, when they first dropped onto, was it WBG? Just coming in immediately back again with something like the Takeda ultimate, in this instance, those musket shots to be able to make sure that they instantly down 2 players. And with that Tesla V1 would be able to bookmark the fight.
Alrighty, well, BBE getting himself nice and aerial here for this fight versus WBG. Immediately catching out onto Baige, trying to get some damage off onto them. Bin actually doing a lot of work, forcing the transform out, instantly coming in for the Justina freeze, trying to get that damage down onto Jahu, or able to land it actually with the musket shot in the distance. Still got a couple of charges left on the freeze. Can't really line it up. Seeing for an opportunity to go for it. Seeing if they can track that freeze. Do catch Baoge. Baoge gonna lose their life. Down they go. Ivan actually gets froze up. Beautiful parry coming in from Roy Shishi though. And that's BBE taking the win.
Yeah, that Justina variant, not only is it really good against Wu Chen, it's also really good against other cannonball compositions, because like you said, Justina freeze onto the Transformers with the extended seconds after they buffed her, I think back in like November was when that one came through. Being able to freeze both the Yueishan and also keep pressure on the Yoda, like actually going incredibly low through the ultimate, getting finished off by the musket shot, means that there's just less damage coming through, less zoning potential where the Yoto and the Yueishan can't cooperate to be able to just make sure that when one attack hits, the other can't be dodged. And unfortunately, it does mean that they get hit by that Yang depletion. WBG going over to Shipwreck, having to take a fight immediately against BBE. Sleepwalker on that Justina does have the ultimate. Will he be able to find an opening freeze? Or are BBE going to be able to outlive the blizzard? Does look like Ivan could potentially get jumped upon right now. Sleepwalker getting into position, wanting to try and isolate one of these targets. Gets the parry onto Ivan, who immediately has to go for the free shell. Both Justinas going to actually have their ultimates, but it's actually Sleepwalker who holds on to his. Ivan utilizes the new knockback on the Justina activation. Will be able to zone Sleepwalker away, and without that free CC, it's all going to fall apart very quickly, potentially for WBG, because Ivan's still on the field. Yes, there's a Yueishan trying to zone space for WBG, but Ivan with the Justina dash is going to be able to find the freeze connection. The parry onto Akshao, pulled up into Blistering Edge. And that Yodo should surely go down in a matter of moments. He'll live a little bit longer, but it is not enough to turn the fight around. Baige falls, and that's WBG. When they had 12 kills to their name, Jake, not able to take it into a good kill multiplier.
Yeah, that's real sad there for WBG getting knocked out, but at least it's 12 points. At least it's something for them. But yeah, they realistically would have liked more. We'll have to keep our eye on them for the last game and see if they're going to be able to put some decent points together for themselves.
Oh, I don't think DRG saw the fight. Oh, that's really
no,
unfortunate.
they might be lost.
They're on the Yang depletion. If they'd seen the fight and they'd been able to third party in, then they probably would have been able to come out on top, like if they just engaged in super quickly. But as it is, the team that they might run into is either J-Team or Wolves, and I think both have ultimates up.
Alrighty, well, let's see if they're going to actually do anything. It looks like it's just a bit of a back off, because we are again at that point where the teams are... Well, the teams are basically at the point where there's not many people left in the game. It's 16 players left, 6 teams left, and there's 11 minutes left in the game. There's a lot of space, and we're down on the shipwrecks as well, so...
Oh, they've spotted. DRG have spotted JDG. They can't afford to be passive either. They only have a minute left. Like, they're going to have to get in and get a kill immediately. The good news for them is that JDG's positioning is potentially putting them with their zone to the back. And that is exactly what WFC is going to try and take advantage of. Turns the Fury and shoves through, finds the parry onto Keck. Will be able to get the follow-up damage, and this fight is going to continue. DRG's Moonlight also throwing over that Yoto ultimate to try and just play off of the stagger set up by this Takeda. Is he going to be able to find any of the kills? Tutik, unfortunately, keeping the pressure onto WFC, who catches Tutik as he falls out of his ultimate into the fan RMB. Jill Halbert's come out. Dragon-like might being used to try and buy the Yoto the ability and movement to get out of the corruption and into the zone. DRG have been able to pick up one soul win for WFZ, but unfortunately they haven't been able to full team clear at the moment. Two-tick does go down. That's another soul win bought for DRG. Another of their players saved. It's just one last player who's trying to kite out into Shipwreck. Are they going to be able to pick him up in time? PP incredibly low. Armor on blue. Health below 50%. Has the fan in the back pocket. Swaps over to be able to get the skirmishes to connect.
12 seconds!
12 seconds left for Wu
They're not gonna do it.
He's spotted out where he is, but there's no way that he's going to be able to find it. And with his last breath, he teleports his team into a better position and goes out to Yang depletion.
That was a proper, like, salute as you go down. Like, I'll get you out to safety, boys. That was so tragic. Lovely little hide there, though, coming in from Moonlight is the final player. Oh, no, not the final player, sorry. It was J-Team. I've lost my place already. Anyway,
that's
JD...
PP. It was JDG's PP who was in the corruption, and unfortunately, he doesn't hide for long. He gets spotted out. And directly on top of Bane's Breath as well.
Yeah, that's going to be hard to break away from. And there it is. BBE's Fat Milk with the musket able to secure that kill. Lovely. Oh, inside the Bane's Breath, though. So let's see BBE get out of that one. Just narrowly avoiding that little splatter. Could have been quite dangerous for them. Now we're left with 12 players left in the game. DRG are going to be able to get their hands on to this Mora's Blessing. Grab themselves some golden armor. Not sure what the weapon was, but they got it, I assume. And unfortunately, they do not have any ability to bring back their Wuxin. Oh, it's a flamer. Yeah. It's really annoying because they, like, I mean, it's, I guess, best case scenario, the best case scenario is you've got, like, your two most important people for taking fights.
Yeah.
It's the defensive person's gone.
Yeah, if you lose a player towards mid to late game, Wu Chen is the best to lose, right? Unfortunately, it is going to be potentially Ballista in play, which means that lacking the Wu Chen wind walls to be able to block the range pressure could become a problem for them. The reason like why they are hugging the base of Ballista Tower, like they're right inside it, is because they heard a team actually rolling around on the ballista above their heads. You do see, if you actually open your minimap, you see the ballista icon moving around if there is a player currently occupying it. So you don't get caught out in terms of surprise by a player sitting on that one and you not understanding it's there. There's Wolves, ZK, pops the Justina ultimate, tries to find a connection onto J-Team. Speaking of ballista, hello. There we go. J-Team's XLY taking one right to the cranium and having to just scale rush right away. Is that just absolutely shredded his armor? He's gonna go aerial. He's the only player currently alive for J-Team as well. So he's gonna just try and play to be as small and quiet as possible. Unfortunately for him, he's been spotted by TE's LYD. F1 comes on through. XLY kiting on over to the base of Ballista to be able to try and use this terrain to try and scale rush around it on Infinite, but he just gets absolutely stun locked by TE and as a result is not able to hit that win condition. And TE now just continues to occupy Ballista. Han waits out the fire tick on the arrow that was connected onto him, gets a Wuchen Windwall from Leo to make sure that he's not staggered off of it, because the way that you can actually counter a player on Ballista is by hitting them with anything. If they take any form of damage, they're forced off of it. So good Wuchen Windwall to be able to peel from him. And TE, I do believe, also have Tuner as well, so they're going to be stocking up on resources and putting themselves in a brilliant position, especially since the Bane's Breath is going to make it really hard for these players to position around Ballista, because they either go into the Ballista damage or into the Bane's Breath or into the cannon fire that Wolves are just absolutely assaulting BBE with on the other side.
Yeah, I mean, 11 players, 4 teams left in the game. It is absolute chaos at the early game, but now the end game, normally a little bit more chill for a bit. It will explode in the next couple of moments once the map is shrunk a little bit more. There's just too much space for the players to quite comfortably sit with their back to the zone. No, they're not going to have anyone coming up behind them, and they can just trade cannon shots out and burn resources, especially when, again, the Bane's Breath is creating a zone in the middle of the map basically just means that no man's land is there.
Oh, we're even covering with Dreadful Whale. Oh, T is stacked. BBE, Ivan. 2 shots left on the bow. Checking to see whether or not they're going to get any retaliation or pressure. T's LYD. And Leo now off of that Ballista Tower zone is going to move away from Ballista, and the players in the area breathe a huge sigh of relief that they don't have to worry about that coming into play anymore. As T start to get into position, Han runs out. No way do we see a Blood Ripper final zone coming through from TE. I'm gonna laugh so hard if this actually gets a kill. I cannot remember the last time that Blood Ripper has been able to find a kill in an NBPL lobby.
I barely see it.
I know.
I would like it.
I do adore it.
I think the smaller spot-sized final circles suit the Blood Ripper more. Because the problem is when there's like 30 people in a circle and everyone's just shooting cannons, you're just going to get killed with the Blood Ripper. There's less
well,
people
speaking about getting killed, it's not a Blood Ripper, but it is ripping right through Han's head. Fat Milk comes in with a musket shot. They try and cover for him with like Dreadful Whale, but unfortunately he just takes too much pressure and goes straight down. Wolves now also backs against the wall, having to just all in onto everyone from BBE. Out comes the Yoto ultimate, trying to just buy space as they get pressured by everyone from BBE taking the frontline fight. Roy Shishi sees that the Yoto ultimate has been burnt out. Now decides it's his opportunity to be able to keep that pressure going from on high. Tries to find the connecting slashes onto some of these players, but he's done enough to be able to buy his team the space that Wolves wanted to hold on to. Cheese Han were able to actually bring up the player that went down. That probably was off of an armor swap coming through once the revive had come on out. Unfortunately for them, they're still being pressured on all sides. Yet again comes the Dreadful Whale, so that BBE can't move off of the musket pressure coming out from Fat Milk. He's going to immediately utilize that Uation ultimate, knows that TE's heart is a little bit too close to the end of the zone. And unfortunately, off of the back of the stagger connection from the Yushan Spear will go down. And now it's open season for the 2 remaining players of TE. Fat Milk also able to avoid the Tessa V1. Leo incredibly low, goes out on the ground as well. LYD is the next to fall. Poison Splash is going to be hitting into the players of BBE, but I don't think they care. Have they spotted out Wolves hiding inside that shed? Well, now they're going to know, as Fat Milk gets caught inside the Yoto F2 and immediately takes a lot of damage. It's not enough to be able to kill him, however, as they'll be able to follow up with a kill onto Wolves' Egg. They're going to be able to find the freeze as well off of Ibin, following it up with the RMB on the Jill Halberds. This surely is going to be BBE, but Moonlight, like you said, plays for survival, reveals his hand,